Olivia Carter always found Father's Day difficult. Every year, as the holiday approached, it seemed like reminders appeared everywhere she looked. Families planning cookouts, stores filled with Father's Day cards, children excited about gifts. And while Olivia was happy for them, the weekend always brought back questions she had carried for most of her life. Questions about her own father. At 34 years old, Olivia still didn't know exactly what happened. She only knew that one day he was part of her world, and then he wasn't. Over the years, people offered explanations. Some said he chose to leave. Others said there was more to the story. Eventually, Olivia stopped asking questions she wasn't sure anyone could answer. Life moved on. She became a librarian. She served at her church. She built a quiet life, and most days she was content. But every Father's Day weekend, those old questions found their way back. This particular Saturday afternoon, rain was falling steadily over Indianapolis as Olivia hurried down the sidewalk carrying a grocery bag. She wasn't looking for answers. She wasn't expecting a miracle. She was simply trying to stay dry. The rain suddenly came down harder. Olivia spotted a small bookstore she had never noticed before and stepped inside. A bell chimed over the door. The smell of old books filled the air. Immediately, she felt herself relax. She wandered through the aisles, running her fingers along the shelves. History, biographies, faith, classic novels. Then something caught her eye. An old leather Bible sitting alone on the lower shelf. The cover was worn smooth from years of use. For some reason, Olivia picked it up. And the moment she opened it, something slipped from between the pages and floated to the floor. She bent down and picked it up. A Father's Day card. The card looked old, very old. Its corners were worn, its colors had faded. Carefully, Olivia opened it. The moment she saw the handwriting, her heart nearly stopped. Because she knew it. She knew that handwriting. It belonged to her mother. Now y'all, if you found your mother's handwriting in a random bookstore inside a Bible you've never seen before, what would you do? Keep listening, because Olivia's life is about to change forever. Her hands began to shake. Slowly, she looked down at the message. Thank you for loving our daughter so well. No matter what happens, never stop believing she will know how much you love her. Olivia froze. Then she looked at the date. June 1998. 1 year before her father disappeared. The room suddenly felt smaller. How was this possible? How did this card get here? Why was it inside this Bible? And who had owned it? Olivia walked quickly to the front counter. The elderly bookstore owner looked up from his newspaper. "Excuse me," Olivia said. Her voice was shaking. "Where did this Bible come from?" The man adjusted his glasses. Then he saw the card. His expression changed immediately. "Well, I'll be," he whispered. "You found it." Olivia's heart began racing. "What do you mean?" The man stood up slowly. "My name is Walter." He looked at the card again. "I've wondered for months who that belonged to." Olivia felt her stomach tighten. "Do you know who owned this Bible?" Walter hesitated, then nodded. "Yes." The answer came so quickly that Olivia almost missed it. "Actually, I do." Walter disappeared into a small office behind the counter. A moment later, he returned carrying a cardboard box. Inside were several papers, old receipts, bookmarks, a few photographs, and one folded envelope. Walter placed the envelope on the counter. This was inside the Bible, too. Olivia carefully opened it. Inside was a handwritten note. The handwriting was unfamiliar, but the signature at the bottom wasn't. Her breath caught in her throat. Michael Carter. Her father. Olivia's knees nearly gave out. She grabbed the edge of the counter. Walter immediately pulled out a chair. "Sit down." Olivia sat. The note was short, very short. "If this Bible ever finds its way back to Olivia, tell her I never stopped loving her." Olivia began to cry, not because she understood, but because she didn't. Nothing made sense. Not the card, not the note, not the Bible, nothing. Walter waited quietly. Finally, Olivia asked the question. "Was my father alive when he brought this Bible here?" Walter looked surprised. "Brought it here?" He shook his head. "No." Olivia stared at him. "What do you mean, no?" Walter pointed toward the envelope. "Your father didn't bring it. He mailed it." Olivia blinked. "Mailed it?" Walter nodded. 3 months ago. Now, y'all, at this point, Olivia has gone from wondering where her father went to finding out he was alive only 3 months ago. If you're still listening, type "God is working" in the comments, because this story is just getting started. Walter explained that 3 months earlier he received a package. Inside was the Bible, the card, the note, and a letter. The letter had instructions. If anyone ever came looking for the Bible, he was supposed to give them the envelope. Olivia's heart pounded. "Do you still have the letter?" Walter nodded. He reached into the box and pulled out another folded paper. Olivia opened it. The first line brought tears to her eyes. "To whoever finds this Bible." The letter explained that Michael Carter had suffered a serious accident years ago. A trucking accident, months in the hospital, years of recovery, financial hardship, shame, fear. By the time he felt ready to reconnect, too much time had passed. At least, that's what he believed. So every Father's Day, he wrote another letter. One for Olivia. One every year. 22 letters. Never mailed. Never sent. Never forgotten. Olivia couldn't stop crying. All those years she believed he didn't care. All those years she believed she had been abandoned. And all those years her father had been writing letters. Walter reached into the box again and pulled out a bundle tied with a blue ribbon. 22 letters. One for every Father's Day. Olivia stared at them. Then she began opening them one by one. Some were short, some were long, some contained stories, some contained prayers. One simply said, "Lord, please let my daughter know I love her." That one broke her completely. By now, the rain outside had stopped, but neither Olivia nor Walter noticed. Hours passed, letter after letter, year after year, love after love. Finally, Olivia looked up. "Where is he now?" Walter's face softened. "I was hoping you'd ask." Olivia's heart stopped. Walter smiled. "He lives 20 minutes from here." The drive felt like forever. Every red light felt personal. Every turn felt slower than the last. Olivia kept wondering what she would say. Would she be angry? Would she cry? Would she walk away? She didn't know. When they finally arrived at a small white house, Walter parked the car. Neither of them moved. Finally, Walter spoke. "Ready?" Olivia nodded. Not really, but she nodded anyway. They walked to the front porch. Walter knocked. Footsteps approached. The door opened, and standing there was an older man with gray hair, a cane, and tears already filling his eyes. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then he whispered one word. "Livy," the nickname only her father had ever used. Olivia broke, and so did he. The next few minutes disappeared beneath tears, hugs, apologies, questions, answers. 22 years of pain, 22 years of misunderstanding, 22 years of waiting, finally
beginning to heal. Later that evening, Olivia sat across from her father at his kitchen table. He showed her photographs, letters, memories, and then he showed her something that made her cry all over again. A prayer journal. Every Father's Day, for 22 years, he had prayed for her by name, every single year. The Bible says, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer." Romans 12:12. And that's exactly what he had done, faithful in prayer. When Olivia finally left that evening, she carried home more than letters. She carried home peace, understanding, forgiveness, and something she never expected to find: restoration. Because sometimes God's miracles
don't arrive with flashing lights. Sometimes they arrive hidden inside an old Bible. Sometimes they arrive through a forgotten card. And sometimes God uses a Father's Day weekend to answer a prayer that has been waiting 22 years. If this story touched your heart, type restoration in the comments. And if you've ever seen God reconnect something that seemed broken forever, share your story below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for another episode of Everyday Miracles, because God is still working miracles every single day.